What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another weekly training vlog where I'm here to talk through all of the training I'm doing to prepare for Ironman Texas coming up in 45 weeks in April 2026. Obviously, there's a long time between now and the next time I get to race Ironman Texas. And in the shorter term, I'm going to be focusing on some shorter races and also prioritizing strength training moving forward. And I feel like I've been off to a good start ever since taking a little bit of extra time to recover after Ironman Texas back in April. I have been back into training for about 2 weeks now, and the second week of training that I just completed has felt a lot better, and I'm really actually feeling, I don't want to say 100% normal again in terms of being fully recovered, but I'm definitely getting a lot closer, especially in the pool and also in just feeling recovering from some harder workouts and having to kind of get used to that again. All in all, I think that last week was a really good week of training, really productive week, and I'm not following a training plan at the moment. I haven't actually put together anything with my coach, so I've been sort of self-driving all of the training that I'm doing and working with a new strength training coach to program 2 workouts per week. So been a little bit of a different mix of training, especially I'm doing a lot more work sort of deciding and figuring out what to do, but I do think things have been going pretty well, and I'll talk through how last week has gone. So I was doing this date calculation to figure out how much time between today and Ironman Texas, and we're back up in the training peaks here. So last Monday was Memorial Day. Pools were closed. Had a chance to go and do an open water swim in the lake. There is a great lake that's just about 20 minutes away from the house here, and went there, joined some of my other training friends. Had a Memorial Day open water swim. I was planning on hopping in and trying to do at least like 5 to 10 minutes of sort of pickup race pace efforts, but after settling into sort of a cruise sort of effort for the first 10 minutes, I just kept cruising, swam about 35 minutes, and really just sort of enjoyed that chance to get out and not have to do flip turns, and you're not staring at a line. I personally enjoy open water swimming, so I took Monday as an opportunity to just simply appreciate being out in the lake and swimming it. So good workout on Monday, and really needed that. It was refreshing. Tuesday I hopped on my bike and was really interested to try and do some VO2 max type of power outputs, albeit for very short amounts of time. I was really just curious to see how it would go, just sort of wake my anaerobic system up a little bit, so to speak. I haven't really got my heart rate up on the bike in a while, so that was also part of the goal, was let's get and try to get the heart rate up. If you watch my video from last week, that was sort of a focus of the previous week, where I was sort of doing little tiptoeing bits of intensity, just trying to get my heart rate to climb up, and followed through this week with a little bit more of that, especially on this workout, and I was able to get my heart rate up over 180 BPM. A few of these little sections here, I was averaging about 360 watts plus. The first one, my heart rate was 164, but then as I climbed into the next effort, heart rate shot up, and I was comfortably or uncomfortably at 172. And then the final, that was a good power output too, about 370, so well above my threshold of 320. And then here was the final effort, where I really pushed more, really felt that heart rate go up all the way up above 180. And honestly, it was like sort of like ripping off a Band-Aid, just sort of breathing that hard and feeling that effort. And I think 3 of those sort of 2.5 minute pushes was plenty. Got off the bike and ran a fairly easy brick run. I didn't really push up to like the race effort that I'd like to run when I do this sprint triathlon coming up this weekend. Finished up the final like little bit there at about 7 minutes per mile. So Tuesday was, intensity on the bike, a little bit of moderate running off the bike, and I felt pretty good. This was also having done a strength training session that morning. I had my first WooCar strength training session, knocked that out in about 50 minutes, including my little warm-up routine. So Tuesday was super productive. Wednesday, I ended up doing another strength training session in person this time with a different coach than I was expecting at the group strength class that I attend on Wednesdays. And right off the bat, I was like, man, talk about prioritizing strength training. I'm feeling a little sore from the strength training I did previously on Tuesday. And here I am going into another strength training session, and it definitely kicked my butt. It was a lot of lower body work. I did a lot of goblet squats. There were some walking lunges in there, also some wall balls, a lot of sort of explosive lower body movements. And carrying that into Thursday, I was definitely not ready for my next strength training session. I had 2 new strength training sessions that I tried out this week from the WooCar Fit program. I tried to do them Tuesday and Thursday, and by the time Thursday morning came around and it was time to try and do 2 to 3 sets of this strength training program, I got through the first one and my body was just like tapped out. Like my particularly like my right sort of anterior inner thigh, underneath my glute, I was doing a reverse lunge and my body was just like, nope, no more, your legs are cooked. So definitely made strength training a priority last week. I was super sore. I was able to get on my bike and do a nice 45-minute sort of zone 1 spin afterwards. So I knew I hadn't, injured myself or anything like that, but I definitely had to sort of call it and recognize that I may have pushed things too far if I continue to do that workout. So hopefully this coming week I will get through both of those new WooCar strength training sessions. Thursday rounded that out, like I said, with a nice zone 1 easy spin, and that was pretty much my training day on Thursday. Did a quick 10-minute jog warm-up before the strength training session, so that was the only other training I did there. On Friday I went to the pool, and it was really the first time I felt like I sort of got my mojo back in the water, so to speak. Like I just could, for brief moments, I was swimming at paces that I'm more accustomed to, and it didn't feel like I was busting myself apart to swim. I've actually had a little bit of a tougher time getting back moving in the pool than I expected after Ironman Texas, and I'm going to have to swim a 500 open water sprint triathlon race coming up this Sunday. So I've been trying to get back in the water, trying to get back moving, and Friday this previous week was probably the first time I felt a little bit of a taste of normality in the water, which was really encouraging. Swam a couple of shorter intervals closer to 130 per 100, and that was definitely sort of getting back to feeling a little bit more regular in the water, what I'm more used to. So took that as a good step of progress, good sign of progress. On to Saturday, took a 7-mile easy run. This time I went a little bit slower than my run last Saturday. Last Saturday's long run at 6 miles, I was battling my heart rate a little bit more than I would like to. I think it's because I was trying to run a little bit too quickly and kind of cut into that like 7-minute mile zone. This Saturday, I really just tried to chill on that and let my heart rate do the driving, and I averaged 155, which is a solid zone 2, and I felt good after 7 miles. Also did some more pull-ups and push-ups after that 7 miles on Saturday, and weekly pull-up and push-up count is similar to last week, certainly more than probably more than 200 modified push-ups and probably somewhere in the range of 60-ish pull-ups total for the week. So I've been keeping that going 2 weeks strong, and I'm already feeling progress in the pushing and the pulling muscles. Sunday, last training day of the week, I had a wonderful hour-and-a-half ride out there with the group. I wasn't sure if I wanted to get on my bike and try some more intervals. By the time I showed up for the ride, again, this is sort of me coaching myself. What I thought I would do the night before evolved the morning of, and I thought, I could probably use just 90 minutes of easy riding. And originally I thought that would be sort of a zone 2 ride. And then when I got out there, I was sitting all the way in the caboose with the group, and I was, my heart rate was zone 1, like super low. We were cruising along, and I thought, this feels great. and I really just allowed myself to just relax for the entire 90 minutes. I spent the first half of the ride all the way caboosing it in the way back of the group. The second half of the ride, I was up riding second in the line, but I wasn't pushing the pace. I was really just sort of sitting on the lead rider and letting her do the pulling. And I really enjoyed sort of taking it easy and just sort of allowing myself to relax on the bike. Didn't push the effort at all at any point. And everyone had a good ride, got home, no unexpected, wildness out there on the road. So definitely nice. And I went and did a sort of in the same spirit of that sort of easy effort. I went out and did about 15 minutes of running easy off the bike, rounding off the training week pretty nicely. So that all being said, that is my training week. Coming up this weekend is the Sylvan Beach Sprint Triathlon on Sunday. I'm going to be trying to do my 2 WooCar Fit strength training sessions this coming week. Maybe talk to my coach and maybe put our heads together on some like short race effort type of run and bike work to do. And I got in the pool again this morning, 25-minute swim, super short, but I think I will say that my mojo is almost fully back. I felt pretty darn good this morning in the water. I did some 200s at sort of the race effort that I would like to do, and the first one was the hardest one. Honestly, the first one was really tough. The second one and the third one, I was a little faster and felt a little more comfortable. So I love it when it sort of comes together like that, and the effort level sort of decreases as the pace increases. That is definitely, I think I'm using my brain and my body more in concert and getting more used to the effort in the water. So it's taken a few weeks, but I'm getting back there, and hopefully just in time to go and swim my best effort 500 to start off the race. The only other thing I'd like to say briefly about the Sylvan Beach Triathlon coming up this Sunday is that I'm really out to improve on what I was able to do last year in terms of my bike split and also potentially my run split. I think I'm bringing more strength into the race. I think I'm bringing more sort of discipline in between my years into the race, and I'm really excited to get the chance to kind of go all out and put the effort out there, and hopefully not too much more than an hour will bring me to the finish line. So looking forward to that. I'll be back next week on Monday to talk about how it goes. Also going to be doing some traveling the next few weeks, so I will keep you updated. Thank you so much for checking this out today. I hope you have a good rest of your week, and I will see you next time.